Hi, my name is Ryan Peterson, and did you know that over 10 million Americans suffer from some type of speech or language disorder? Now, one of the few models that we can use to study speech and language disorders is birdsong. This is because it is an animal model of human language, and there are several similarities between birdsong and human language. These include the reasons why both humans and birds vocalize. Secondly, birdsong and human language develop similarly in juveniles. Thirdly, birdsong and language share similar genetic or innate components as well. But it is important to note that although there are a lot of similarities between birdsong and language, birdsong is not language. So let's dive into our first topic and look at why do we sing or why do we speak? Why do birds sing? Well, primarily they'll sing to defend their territory, let other conspecifics know where they are, or to attract a mate. And both of these are forms of socialization. Similarly, humans, we might vocalize, we might speak to introduce ourselves, tell others who we are, to make a request of someone else, or alternatively give instruction. And similarly, these are also forms of socialization or communication. Now, if you compare song functions and language functions, introducing yourself is a broader form of territory defense, letting everyone know where you are. Similarly, mate attraction is a specific form of making a request, someone that you might say. And socialization and communication are relatively interchangeable terms. So the function of birdsong and human language is virtually identical in that it's communication with others. So birdsong and human language develop similarly as well. In birdsong, there's a period of song learning, often referred to as the critical period, in the juvenile bird, where the bird is listening for a new song or a song from a tutor. After this critical period is ended, then the bird will start to sing. It will develop a sub-song from a template that a tutor has taught him. With the sub-song, the song will be rehearsed continuously, and eventually it will form a crystallized song that the bird will sing throughout the course of its life, singing the same song throughout its life. Similarly, language is dependent on a period of sensory learning, but it's important to note that sensory learning does not end at a particular point. It passes throughout life. Now, some argue that there is a critical period for human language, but it is important to know, but that is not necessarily where language learning ends. Now, with language vocalizations, when an infant is born, it will produce non-speech sounds, and after listening to and hearing language, it will begin babbling, making vowel-like sounds, and eventually developing its first words, and then word combinations or sentences, and eventually speaking languages. And so, when we look at the comparison between song learning and language learning, it is important these both are learned behaviors. And there is an important learned component in each behavior in each species. And learning is dependent on initial stimulation from the tutors or a parent, and auditory feedback, hearing what you are singing. Now, we know this is learned because if there's no tutor, present for birds, you get a very bad song. And if you deafen a birds that it cannot receive the auditory feedback, you get even a worse song. So the feedback in the initial stimulation are important components of learning. Now, in addition to the learned component, there is a genetic component to both birdsong and language. Now, some people often refer to this genetic component of birdsong as a song template, or a species-specific template, where certain birds will prefer a song of their species as opposed to the song of a different species. Now, although humans are believed to have a genetic component of language, there's not necessarily a specific language that they would prefer. Any infant can learn any language. Now, another evidence that there is a genetic component or an innate component is that both birds and humans exhibit spontaneous babbling or singing. They will vocalize initially with in a nonsensical way, but trying to make making initial vocalizations when they're born. And lastly, both birds and humans have the neuroarchitecture to produce language or birdsong. Few other species even come close to having the neuroarchitecture or the brain capacity to produce vocalizations in a learned capacity. So that is something special. Now one of the biggest evidence of the innate component is a particular gene called the FOXP2 gene, which is a gene expressed during development in both humans and in birds. And when the gene is not present in humans, in a particular family of humans, it's been observed as absent. All the members of the family without the gene have significant language impairments in both language comprehension and in speech. Similarly, birds, knocking it out leads to very poor song learning. So we know that this gene is necessary for learned vocalizations in both species and shared between both species. Now it's important. Now, some major differences between birdsong and language are that birdsong is often seasonally dependent, while as humans we cannot talk constantly. In birdsong, only males sing, while all humans can talk. Birdsong is often viewed as not flexible. Birds learn one song for their life, while humans can learn many languages and many words, and use their words in a flexible way, making many sentences, thousands of different sentences from their words. And similarly, like I said, one song for life, but while humans can have multiple languages. So, in conclusion, birdsong offers an animal model to study human language, and this is based on several similarities shared between both birdsong and human language. They serve a similar function, being communication. Both are learned, and yet both also have innate components, such as the FOXP2 gene. However, it's important to note that even though with all these similarities, birdsong is not language. I hope you have learned something, and I hope you have a great day.